the NCQA will probably impact how this looks at some point.
As far as policies needed, or the way they're counted, or something.
Well, what's an approval? We're hoping not to add. We're not going to. The goal is not to add any if possible. We may have to do a few, but to limit it as much as possible and just add to what we have current and existing. Those pieces that are missing for NCQA. But what it will do definitely is increase the approvals.
So this slide is showing Ethics Point reports. Ethics Point is the system we use. It's both on our website for external parties to report, and also we use it internally for staff. We have 4 compliance line reports, 44 cases assigned to contract performance. Those would be investigation referrals, 26 grievances, 10 human resources, and those can also, so the HR reports can include things like falls or accidents at work. We wanted to make sure we had a system for tracking that. Before it was all kind of, somebody would make a phone call and, I got an offender bender while driving out to visit someone today. Now we've got a much more, system that we can track and make sure we're staying on top of those. 27 ended up being no investigation required, 51 privacy and security, 20 assigned to special investigations, and 4 technical assistance. And the privacy and security reports, you can see again, we continue, the highest one is just a care coordinator or someone else accidentally uploading information to the wrong member profile, which is pretty routine, but it has to be corrected when that happens. We did have, I'm not sure, it might fall in other or physically unsecured. I think we did have 1 laptop stolen this past quarter, which happens, but all of our laptops are encrypted, so we're safe for that.
And all our employees are on Vaya phones or Vaya laptops?
They have Vaya laptops, and people use their personal phones, but we have an encryption software that if you are authorized to use your personal phone for Vaya Business, you receive a cell phone stipend, and to receive that cell phone stipend, you have to agree to allow the encryption software to be loaded onto your device. So basically, it's like you think of it as a secure container on your phone. So we can actually, if you were to lose your personal device, we can wipe the secure container remotely without touching the rest of the information on your phone.
And then you have access, you track all that data that's going through there. So yeah, thanks.
And my cell phone was stolen, and they were able to wipe it, and I got an email on my laptop that said, we took care of it, it's protected.
Good.
Internal compliance audits, you kind of have talked about some of these already, but this is just kind of giving you the data on that. You can keep going, Kate. And then this is just generally showing you the volume of questions and items received from DHHS, which includes what is now DHB, used to be Division of Medical Assistance, and Division of Mental Health. I don't know, Marvin, but these could be a variety of different things. We've got a couple of slides that break it out. Okay. So you can see the communications. These would be special and ad hoc data requests. So we have regularly scheduled reporting requirements. These are all things that are on top of the regularly scheduled reporting requirements. They need a special report, whether it's a legislative report, in response to a request from a legislator or some other piece of data. So we try to track those as well.
Plus all the questioning of data
Yes.
would be in this.
Yes. And then this is just a helpful timeline to kind of show you how the accreditation timeline has gone out. You can keep going.
Can we do that every 5 years, or have we done it
3.
before? Every 3?
Every 3.
Okay, so it's a long process just for that. I mean, halfway through this next period, you start preparing for the accreditation.
Yeah, claims denial, reconsiderations, those continue to be at a fairly high volume, which is, not unusual. This is providers unhappy that a claim has been denied, and sometimes it's because we didn't have enough information. A lot of these tend to rotate around continuation of benefits, coordination of benefits, where a provider may not have submitted a claim to the appropriate first or third party payer before submitting the claim to us. If we know that the member has first or third party insurance, we will deny that claim until we receive proof that the provider was denied by the other insurer, or it was, not authorized to deliver the service by the other insurer, and then we would look at that.
So is this going in the right direction or the wrong direction?
I believe this is going in the wrong direction.
That's what I thought. More of them overturned means that we're getting more of them that are getting pushed back.
So, prior to this, the number was as it is on the right, and we worked really hard to get that number down, and we got the number down, and then all of a sudden in this first quarter, it spiked back up. So we've been having some meetings to try to determine why that is and what we can do on the front end to make sure that we're deciding the claims in the correct manner, so they don't get to the reconsideration.
So yeah, we've done real well, and then this is kind of a bump back. That's what I thought. Okay.
So hopefully in the next quarter, you'll see that that's been reduced again.
Thanks.
And then the next slide just shows the other types of reconsiderations from July through September. We didn't have any administrative. Those tend to happen in the third and fourth quarters of the year. That's typically when providers have not met their shadow claims targets, and so we might be recouping funds based on that. Credentialing reconsiderations, we had one revocation of credentials. This case involved a physician who was sanctioned by his licensing board, failed to disclose that sanction, and so the revocation was based in part on the substance of the revocation, but in large part on the failure to disclose. And that was upheld, and both of those, it's a 2-level panel review for that, and both of those always include a provider peer. And I should say we're very appreciative of Dr. Murray at RHA for being willing to help us out with one of those panels. And then the special investigation reconsiderations, those are the notices of overpayment. We had one overpayment reconsideration, and it was partially upheld, and that's pretty standard. A provider typically will come in with additional documentation or other information to help support the provision of the service. So that's standard.
And where does partially upheld come in this upheld or overturned?
These are different types of reconsideration.
Okay.
So that the previous slide was
That
about
was
claims.
claims.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are about notices of overpayment.
Okay.
And then we didn't have any sanctions in the past quarters.
And that's really what we want. If we're working with the providers, then you're saying that cooperative thing, okay, here's what's going on, can you fix it?
We try. I don't know how providers necessarily. We've had some good feedback from provider attorneys who have said that our process is very collaborative, and while they may not agree with us, they felt like they got a fair shake, and we work really hard to have a neutral panel, and if it's a sanction or a credentialing revocation, we always have a provider peer on the panel, which has actually been very educational for the providers in our network, because they've gotten to see firsthand some of what we see. We have yet to have a provider who's sitting as a peer to disagree with any of our findings. So, this slide just kind of shows litigation dispositions by quarter. These would be member appeals in quarter 4, member appeals in quarter 1, and other cases. And typically, we're always going to have a higher volume of member appeals than we will other cases. You can keep going. And then this just kind of shows the duration in days, so you can kind of see just the volume of work and the resources. And that's that. And then I think the last thing we had on the agenda was just going to give you a little update about Compliance Week, which is our annual training event for staff. We think it went really well. It's a way for us to bring staff together and have an event for them, but also to knock out a lot of our required training for the year. So we will do our False Claims Act training, which is required by the Social Security Act. We will do our annual privacy and security training. We do our annual ethics training. We do for supervisors, we have a day for supervisors where we do leadership training, supervisory. We bring in Jonathan Yarbrough, who's our outside labor and employment counsel, and then Patrick and his team also did some training for those supervisors. And we rolled out our new intranet, our new internal website for staff, which we have named VERN, which stands for Vaya Employee Resource Network. And I'll see if I can get somebody to bring our VERN cardboard cutout for you all, so you can see that. And went really well, and staff seemed to both enjoy it and hopefully got all the required trainings out. Oh, we also do our annual due process, the EPSCP training there. So there's just a lot of training to be a managed care organization in the Medicaid world that you got to knock out, and it's not the kind of training that you can always just purchase off the shelf and tell people to watch a video. While, even privacy and security training that you can purchase is almost always designed for providers in a hospital or facility setting, you rarely see it designed for the kind of work that we do. So we've just found it's more successful to design our own training than to purchase it.
Yes, I know some of us board members did their ethics thing online, and didn't quite get through to them.
Yeah, I understand. Also this year,
No names mentioned.
to try and give a little incentives to staff, we did a few prizes. We had a compliance hero. Our theme this year was a superhero theme, kind of a comic book theme. So we had a compliance hero who was Melissa Isaacs, our financial reporting director, who is just really, really committed to making sure that our financial reports are 100% accurate. And so she was our compliance hero this year. We had a privacy hero in our utilization management department. We had a training hero. There are some trainings that we can have people watch videos for, like safety and other things. And so that award went to the staff who completed all those first when they got rolled out. What was the last one? I'm missing compliance, privacy, training.
Well, that's great. The motivation is really critical. I mean,
It helps. They get some recognition from their peers, and they each got a very small gift certificate. So that was the motivation, and people seem to enjoy that. We had not done that before.
Yeah.
So anything else you guys want to add about Compliance Week?
It gets better every year, just in terms of content and takeaways.
Yeah, I thought that's something I knew.
Well, I do have one piece of good news. So typically we will get holiday gifts for board members. This year, instead of doing holiday gifts, you will all be receiving the same little lunchbox and other kind of thing that all the staff got at Compliance Week, along with an order form if you would like to order a Vaya shirt.
Oh, that's more swag.
More swag, exactly. Some swag for you all to go out and be brand ambassadors for us. So.
Well, good. Anything else?
It's only 4 o'clock.
It's past 4 o'clock. And we got to 4:30?
Yeah, everybody's gonna be excited. They come in and get set up.
Well, I mean, we went to 2 hours, but do we want to go back to, I mean, y'all shortened some of our.
Yeah, there was a lot less material,
And I wonder if that's going to be
ongoing.
ongoing.
Ask more questions.
This just wasn't one of our quarterly reviews that we'd have had another group to look over.
It depends on the time of year too. So next year when the reporting schedule goes out, it just depends on who's on the schedule and what we're doing. When we do all the annual approvals for QM and the compliance plan and things like that, that does take more time. So we could plan
We'll see
accordingly.
that, that's 2 in a row we've done in an hour, a little over an hour and a
We
half.
don't want it to run right up to 4:30 though, because we use this room.
Right. So I'm okay with staying at 2:30 if that works for you. So we'll just stay at 2:30 if that works. It seems to be giving us enough
my
time.
fault because I thought that we were ending at 4 o'clock, so I was rushing people.
No, that's great. I think we covered what we need to. That's what we're here for. I didn't hold back on any questions.
I didn't see Jack. Thank you very much.
He didn't, but he's got his foot near me. He's good. Well, thank y'all so much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Thank y'all so much.